Hi guys, it's DIYM, and today I wanted to show you a really cute craft you can make with walnuts. This is something that I made when I was about, I think it was like in grade 3. A lot of the grown-ups did a lot of the work for us, but we did do a few things as kids. I always wanted to make my own, and I made my own last Christmas. So I thought that this was a fun, random thing to do in case you don't have a heck of a lot of money, you just want to make something more natural or whimsical. I found that they turned out really cute. What I ended up doing was I ended up watching tutorials on how to open walnuts in such a way that the nuts don't get damaged all that much and you're left with a nicer walnut shape. So I just wanted to show people the same method. I couldn't find the video at all on the internet. It's always good to have on hand for myself, for my own reference, but I figured it's always good for other people too. So I figured I'd share. Hopefully I don't hurt myself because this can be a little bit of a dangerous method. So you can use a butter knife. You can also use a screwdriver, which I don't have right now because I don't know where it is. Anyways, we've had these walnuts for a little while now. I just wanted to show you one of the methods anyways on how to open up a walnut without breaking things, so you can actually use things for crafts, and you can also scrape things out into a bowl so you can have a little snack if you aren't allergic to nuts or don't have any intolerance or anything like that. If you can eat nuts and you like nuts, you can have a little snack with this. So I personally have an intolerance, so I can't eat this, but my husband likes nuts and stuff like that, so he'll most likely eat this. And if you're going to use the screwdriver method, I would say wash the screwdrivers beforehand because you never know where they've been. Even if they're brand new, you never know where they've been, especially if somebody's already used them. You never know if there's dust on them or something, especially if you're using stuff with food. Make sure stuff is washed, okay? So I'll try to find a nut that looks like it's in pretty good condition and looks pretty large, because I think the larger the better for this project. I'm gonna dump them all out. It looks like there's some pretty big ones here, so I'm gonna try to gather the biggest looking ones, and hopefully this method will work out. This one looks like it's splitting, so you probably don't want to use that one. Some of the ones that look like they're splitting open a little bit aren't probably ideal. Something like this might be actually more ideal. This one looks quite big. Oh, but this has a split, so that's unfortunate. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a lot of these aside. Okay, I'm gonna just concentrate on these ones. So I'm gonna try this one. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but so sometimes walnuts have a bit more of a rounder edge on this side and a pointier edge, almost like an acorn shape on this side. So don't use the pointy side. I'm gonna try to crack this open, okay? This one's actually good because it's not split this way, it seems, but it has like a bit of a thing where you can get your knife in there. But so what you do is, again, be very careful with this because you can actually hurt yourself, potentially. Just sort of wiggle your knife around a bit. This one's a really good one for opening stuff up. Okay, and then you just take out the contents and you just basically clean it out. So I took out the meat of the nut and put it in a bowl here, and then you just sort of clean this out the best you can. Snap that. Just make sure a lot of the contents are out of there. So it's a lot cleaner looking. And do the same thing on the other side. If you want to use the other side, you can make really cute crafts with this. I've seen people make turtle crafts and stuff like that. I'm going to make a really cute sleeping mouse ornament that you can hang on the tree or you can give to people on their gifts. I think that they're really cute. They actually last for a while too, which is crazy. I had mine, again, I made mine in grade 3. It seemed to last for years and years and years, probably even decades. It's crazy. So you can do that a bunch of times just to make sure you have some larger ones. So these are all the shells that I split open. Only one of them seemed to split a different way. See, there's the seam right there, but it still looks pretty good. Honestly, it probably looks like one of the best ones. It might be easier to do my craft with that. Might be easier to make the bed for the mouse with that because it's a lot bigger than the others. I'm going to show you what we're going to need for this particular project over on a different table so I can plug in my glue gun and hopefully you guys can see this a little bit better. So once you gather all of your crafting ingredients, this should actually come together pretty quickly. What I like to do is get some material. I like to use like an old sock. You don't have to use that, but you can get any scrap material you want. I do recommend getting felt as a different material just to make little ears, unless you want to make it from something different. I'm going to glue those together in this tutorial, one or the other, like either the gray or the brown. You can use different colors. I like to do little pink ears on the inside. So yeah, so you have your bed. You'll see once I assemble all this soon. You have your bed. So those are the walnut halves. And if you want to clean these up a little bit, if some of them look a little like they have jagged edges, you can always clean them up with a nail file, or you can even get a little sandpaper and clean up the edges a little bit. You don't really totally need it for this project, but if there's something a little too jagged and you don't want anyone to get cut on it or whatever, you can do that to smooth things out. These guys are pretty good. These guys I actually used last year. They were a lot smaller than these ones. I was like, oh, we need to get some big walnuts. So these are much bigger, and these actually probably are going to work a lot better for this project. So yeah, you need some walnut halves, you need some chestnuts, you need some felt. This is just the pink felt. I just cut pink material from it. So you just cut really tiny things. I use an embroidery floss pair of scissors. They're very sharp, and I just take a tiny little square and just fold it together, cut a little shape like this out, and then I just cut it in half. So it's an even size. So yeah, so you got material, you're gonna need elastics, you need a permanent marker. I like to use the fine line pigment markers like the Stadler brand. You can use Micron as well, as long as they're waterproof and will last a little while. And then you need this if you're gonna make this into an ornament, which I highly recommend doing. You definitely need some sort of string, just enough to hang on a tree. I'm actually gonna cut this first, tie a knot. So you have a little loop for the tree. It could be longer than this if you want. And then these guys I'm going to cut too. So these are just little elastic bands. Snip like that. And you can cut it shorter later if you want to, if you feel like this is too long. But I just want to cut it like this just for now. This is basically going to be the tail of the mouse. This is such a cheap project, but it's such a cute and impressive thing to hang on a present. So yeah, I used socks. I already cut some stuff up here, just like a rectangular square. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. So just something like this. And you also need hot glue. I'm gonna pick one of these guys for the bed. I think I like this one. My husband already drew some really cute faces. Can you see that, guys? He drew some really cute faces already on these little chestnuts. So he just used the pointy end of the chestnut and made a little nose, and you can make sleeping eyes and whiskers. So I think they're so cute. So I'm gonna pick that face, but first I just want to see if he's gonna fit in here. It looks like the actual face will fit in there pretty well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick, the gray ones are really cute, but yeah, I'm going to pick the brown ears over here. So I already cut this out in advance, but I just didn't want to bore you guys with cutting everything out all the time. Okay, so this is coming out pretty good already. So I'm just going to put a little dab here. There's always going to be lots of strings when you're using hot glue. I don't really think that there's any method on how to get rid of that. If you know a method, though, let me know down below in the comments. So you can make a ton of these all at once if you want to. So another thing I like to do is I like to fill the center part here. Luckily, this is the one where the split in a different way. Seam down the center, so it's a little easier to see center. I have long nails, so it's a little easier to not get burned here, but you use whatever method you can to not get burned. There's some little things like covers you can use for your fingers. So I'm just gonna put that down like that. And then I'm gonna put a little extra glue here just for this cute tail to come out the other side. It's gonna look really ugly on the inside, just so you know. And there's lots of strings, of course, always. It's like impossible to get away from it. Okay, so it looks like that. Now the next thing I like to do is to put on the ears, just sort of stick them out the side like this, and then generously put a bunch of hot glue there, and then stick this guy in. Oops, I'm getting burned a little bit here, as usual. What happens with hot glue, the joys of hot glue. Stick that guy right there. Make sure this looks like it's coming out of his head, and then all you have left to do is basically put a little blanket on him. So I like to just generously put a bunch of glue all even around his little chin, running low on glue here. So hopefully this works out okay. Try to work fast as much as you can here. Just sort of tuck in everything as much as you can. If you can tuck in the frayed material, that's awesome too, but you don't have to. And then just sort of clear the little glue cobwebs here. And this tail might be a little long, so I'm just gonna make it a little bit shorter. And there you go. And you've got a little cozy mouse, the cutest little cheapest project you probably will ever do. And it's an ornament that you can hang on a tree. It's really great if you have whimsical decorations or even know a friend that has that sort of thing, and you can sort of gift it to them. I think it's such a cute project, and hopefully you guys have fun hanging it on your Christmas tree. I think this is the absolute most adorable craft and gift you can make. You can put this on a bag of sweets or something. It could be a great present topper with a tag. Look, check out the back. You can even write your name on the back, the date of when you made it on here, and see how long it lasts. It should last years. Literally, I feel like my ornament, we took it out every year for Christmas, must have lasted decades. These things are strong. These walnut shells are pretty strong, so they're really, really fun for crafting. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like, subscribe, share the video if you can with somebody, and I hope you all have a good day and an awesome happy holidays. All right, take care, guys. Bye!